Hello, and welcome to Life Rhythms, Tarot, Food, and Spirit. I'm here this evening to respond to make a video response to a spread that was started by Veronica Rose. Now, this was a spread that was going around in September, and I'm a bit late to the party, if you will. I've really just started to be participatory in some of these things online, and I'm really excited to become present for some of these things. And this particular spread really spoke to me. And I first saw the spread offered or responded to by Tarot Alchemist Lisa over at Tarot Alchemist. So I've been wanting to do it, and I had the opportunity to spend some time with it today. So the spread is called Inner Stories, and it's a 5-card spread. I did draw the cards a little bit earlier today, and I'll just read through the questions and then repeat them again as I go through the cards. So Inner Stories, the first question being presented as the prologue, and it is, what inner story is most in need of exploring? So what inner story am I needing to explore the most at this moment, is how I'm taking that. The second question, the second card, would be in response to when did this inner story begin? So when might have the inception of this, or the seed of this story started? The third question, what impact has this inner story had on my life? The fourth question, what is the most effective way to challenge the inner story? To challenge, or I thought of it also as change or challenge the inner story. And the fifth question, how will changing this inner story affect the future? I thought of it as just moving forward, the future even just being tomorrow maybe, but the future. So I decided for this spread to work with the Mother Piece Tarot. I don't have the box any longer. This was my very first deck that I started working with over 20 years ago. Not this exact deck that I have in my hands right now, but this offering. And it's come in and out of my life, and I was just drawn to use this for this spread. So, what inner story is in need of exploring? Do I perhaps need to explore the most right now? And I drew the 4 of Discs. And I'm going to respond to this as they speak really to my inner situation. So immediately I knew for me that this card was speaking to, or is speaking to, this what I'm experiencing right now, a challenge of being versus doing, and that I'm feeling like I need to be being more rather than doing. And I've just come out of quite a long period due to the illness that I'm dealing with, which is cancer. I've come out of quite a long period of being, and it's just been in recent months that I've been able to be participatory in more in life and interacting with people and things of this nature. And I've had some inner turmoil about whether or not, how much I should be putting myself forward, noticing how that is affecting my energy, and whether or not that's an appropriate way to be harvesting my energy right now. So this card of, perhaps I'm creating the story right now that it would be, maybe it's not right for me to be moving outward into life the way I am right now, and it's creating a little conflict for me. Now, the second card, perhaps when did this story begin? The Ace of Discs. And this really speaks or answers to many layers for me. So this desire to do in my life is historical, in that my desire to create, and also my need to create. And I apologize. I say this every time I make a video. I tend to like to make it at this time of day. I probably just need to pick a better spot. I apologize for the glare. But that my historical need for being self-sufficient and creating my own way in the world, my own way of taking care of myself. Like, I am both the baby and I'm the one who's needing to create that cradle, that ability to be nourished and taken care of, materially made secure, that in a way that's always been my role for myself. And so if I'm not doing, how am I going to be cared for? So if I'm going into that more being space, how do those needs get met? So so that's a scary place for me to be. To perhaps say, okay, let's not do, let's just be. But then how do I have my needs met, and not just materially, but also creatively, and wanting to express myself in the world. So yes, so this Ace of Discs has been with me, and this is a card that I choose that comes forward for me across decks, across time, whether I'm reading many different kinds of reading. So it's kind of a very, it's a card that's imprinted for me. So how has this affected my journey? Daughter of Discs, we have a theme here of this security, this need to create and be sovereign, really. So so this is speaking to my life. All of this is speaking to my life right now, but the arc of my life as well. So this Daughter of Discs is a card that I've always related to, especially in this deck. She is on a vision quest, and she is seeking and, in a way, imprinting her purpose. And so when I'm able to imprint my purpose and able to be sovereign and take care of my needs and take care of that little one, then all is well in the world. But all of this for me has always spoken to being, in a way, more solitary. And even when I was in my more doing life, I was really always more drawn to being solitary. My practices were solitary. Even the way I worked with people, clients, was one-on-one. So much more intimate, solitary. And then I always really looked to go back into my own journey, my own discovery, my own self-discovery, and always kind of mining for learning more, exploring more, discovering more, becoming more anchored in my purpose. and in a way never really made peace with how I did that and then was also in the world. So this story that I'm, creating of needing to close in or remain closed in, and perhaps not to overexert my energy right now doing in the world, it's all is being fed by my historical story and the way that I've operated historically. Needing to take care of myself, finding security for myself, exploring and mining from myself, and using that for my doing activities, but they were still more interior. And in a way, I am wanting to participate and be in the world more to the capacity that I can, in the ways that I can now, which are new. So this is all new for me, doing something like this, putting myself forward like this. And so the climax question, what is the most effective way to challenge the inner story? What came forward was the Ten of Wands, was to say yes to participating, to be in circle, to be in community, to be with, I know this is a very woman-centric deck, but that is, where my work has always been centered, but really truly centered now, to create the moon gatherings that I'm creating, to communicate via this tool of YouTube, and to learn and to exchange and to harvest and to give and to receive. And so this is the way to challenge those other stories, that I really do sense are probably not serving me. Yes, I do need to find a balance. That is true. And I will find that balance, though. But this is here, and the outcome, or the epilogue, how will changing the inner story affect my future? Well, that there will be a balance. There will be an elemental balance, that there will be harmony, that I will find the way of give and take of all the elements of my life, through nature, through inner ecology and outer ecology, paying mind to the harmony of the inside and the outside, and again to the giving and receiving, that this is a good path for me now, that that all of the inner questing, it's fine to move it forward. It's good to move it forward. It's good for me to bring it forward into the world and to share, and that the giving and the receiving, the doing and the being, will create the an appropriate harmony for me, and hopefully offer some harmony and inspiration for others, which is what I was always seeking to do in the world. Now I'm exploring and hopefully nurturing different ways to do that. And so that is what the story that the cards offered to me this afternoon. And I'm really happy that I came across this challenge. I don't know if it's a challenge or this tag, this tarot tag, and I hope that some of you will enjoy what I've had to offer or say, or anything that you might have to offer, or thoughts that you might have. I'd love to read them, and until I find the next tag that feels right to respond to, Uh, until then, be well, and thank you for being with me today on Life Rhythms. Be well.